Hello, it's Xavier Gilchrist. Who am I here with today?
Dean.
Dean, how's it going?
Good, man. Good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries. I just wanted to do an interview with one of the top producers here at the Philly team. So I just want to maybe just ask how your experience has been so far.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, it's been a pretty big journey. From starting from the beginning with no clients in hand, and then just working my way to um, having a pipeline of people that I'm working with, and selling a good amount of homes every year. It's been a pretty big journey. Lots of learning for sure. But that's kind of my experience. It's like I've had um, like a sales background for most of my life, so it's been a lot of call it sharpening the tool set, right, in terms of dealing with people and stuff like that, and like how do you overcome objections, and how do you help people properly. And I think that's the biggest thing that a lot of people miss. It's not about, in this industry, it's not really about selling homes. It's more about solving a problem that a certain client has. And I found that me being um, like solutions oriented is that it's really just helping somebody find the solution to their current problem, whether it's their house is too small, their house is too big, they need to downsize, they need something that they can afford better, like all these different things. It's finding that what you can do to help out and help them find that new thing that fits better than the current one that doesn't fit.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
And you've mentioned building your pipeline,
yeah,
and we spoke a little bit earlier, a couple weeks ago or something about social media and getting leads and
yeah.
clients from there. So how have you been doing that?
So I've started doing a lot more on YouTube. And it's been good. Like I've always been like decently active on Instagram, but never had that much success from like having people reach out to me on Instagram. I mean, like obviously like your sphere of influence, which is like your friends, your family, and all that stuff. They see everything that you're doing every day, which is great. Shows that you're actually working, keeps you accountable in a way. But um, that stuff is like you have to kind of find a way to be out there in front of so many people, right? A lot of people always talk about in real estate, it's like how many conversations can you have, right? But it's like when you look at social media, it's like how many views can you have, right? Or how many people can see that you're actually doing real estate, and the content that you're putting out is going to help resonate with some people, right? Like if you're giving out tips and tricks for buyers and sellers and investors, you're catering to that kind of audience, which is you're answering questions for that audience that they need to hunt to get. Whereas if you're just doing it for them, they're getting the answer, their questions answered, and now you have somebody reaching out to you like, hey, I'm actually in this certain situation. I love that you helped me out, give me this value. Can you help me now find this certain thing that I'm looking for? And that's kind of how I think my social media has gone up, is just providing the right value to the right people, and making them like that. Once you start providing value, it makes people want to reach out, right? Like you're not selling them anything, you're just providing value, and they're seeing it and they're like, okay, well, let me reach out to this guy, see if he can help me out with this current thing I'm dealing with.
I like that. I mean, for me at least, my most successful social media has been Instagram,
Yeah,
but I'm still working on TikTok and Facebook,
yeah,
trying to break the barrier there. But I also want to dabble into YouTube. I've been
yeah,
trying to do, but I haven't really broken into the long form
yeah,
content yet. It's really difficult for me.
yeah. Like I've never been like I've always been like I used to be one of those people that would hate to rewatch their videos.
Oh yeah,
You
me
know,
too.
like you film something, and you're like, oh god, I can't even listen to this. But as you like, the more you do it, the better you get, right? It's like I find that like everything in life, it's the more volume you do of it, the easier it gets, right? And nothing worth doing is easy, right? Everything that's worth doing is typically hard and takes effort and some pain.
Sure.
So getting over that, like that initial fear of like thinking it's awkward or like cringe. Like I used to cringe at my videos. I'm like, oh god, why did I say that? You know, like. But I find that you just got to be yourself, and not everybody's gonna like you, and you don't need those people to like you. You just need the people that actually like you. Those are the people you're gonna get along with, right? The one thing I like about social media is that you're not catering to everybody. You're catering to your specific audience. So if there's people that are the only people that are going to be watching your stuff is people that actually want to watch you, right? So somebody that doesn't want to watch you, they're not going to follow you, they're not going to listen to you, they're not going to like, they don't care, and that's perfect because now you don't need to focus on those people because you were never going to get along with them to begin with, right? And if it was a potential lead, well, you weren't going to get it anyways, right? Like
Yeah.
they're just not interested in dealing with you, like, and that's completely fine, right? Like everybody has different personalities, different traits, and all this stuff, and I don't get along with everybody, and there's other people that don't get along with other people too, right? All different styles of how you do things. So I think social media in a way helps you kind of clarify almost where you're heading, and I think like you're super young in the industry, and it's like you're making a path for yourself where it's gonna, once you like you're getting your license now, but how many people know you now that you're getting your license, and how many more people are gonna know you once you have your license and you're trading in real estate and you're doing these things and stuff like that. So it's like I think you're doing a great step in building towards that, and it's just volume is gonna help it become more clear.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I keep hearing that quote. It's like volume negates luck. It's
Yeah.
just the more you do. But that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, like and that's the thing too, right? The more you do, the more lucky you get, right?
Yeah.
And that's what they always say, but it's never luck. It's just you kept doing it. You didn't stop. You didn't stop. You didn't stop. And I know it's such a cheesy line. It's like, don't quit, don't quit. But it's true. Like as long as you don't quit, you can't fail because
Yeah.
you just keep doing the thing, right? Like it's like there's how many agents. Like we can go back to COVID times. How many agents got their or how many people got their license to become agents, and how many of them still have their licenses, right? I'm sure if they just stuck it through the tough times, they might have still been doing really well. But some of them hit the tough times and just stopped, and they quit, and now they don't have any extra income or whatever the case is, right? So, yeah, it's just like it's all volume, and sometimes you hit a rough patch, but that just means you have to work harder to get that volume up.
That's true. I mean, how was it for you in those times? Because you did see a big change in the market.
Yeah, so I actually started like towards like once COVID had kind of finished up, that's when I kind of got my license, and I started when things were peaking, but I had no clients, so it was funny, right? Like I see everybody just being super successful, and like homes are selling, and I'm like I don't have a single listing, I don't have I have a buyer or two, like I have nothing, right? And it's just like I kept working, and every year since COVID, it's been my best year, like ever, just exponentially, right? So that was a different time. I don't know when we're going to see that again. I doubt it anytime soon, but it really just it's crazy how the world changes. But like I think now we see what led to that. But like I also too think that like people like COVID was almost like the perfect storm, right? It was like if we go back and look at the stats between 2018 and 2019, we did see the market heading towards more of a seller's market because inventory wasn't that big. Like things were brewing already, and then COVID hit, everything stopped, rates dropped overnight to like free money, right? Like if you had a 1% interest rate, that's free basically, right? Like there's no like you're not paying it like very very little interest to it. Any money you put in the bank is making way more than that, right? So it's like you're borrowing free money and you can buy whatever you want. So it was the perfect storm that led into that, and then it blew up, and now we're back to rebuilding. And yeah, I think a lot of people have learned a lot of big lessons, but every generation is different. Every business cycle is 10 years roughly, right? So it's and we're just at the beginning of this business cycle, so we'll see.
And for this cycle, we are seeing like the rates drop a bit,
Yeah.
and well, actually quite a little bit, and then the prices are coming down too. So where do you think the market's going to be heading now?
Like I'm not a like I'm not a predictionist, and I don't like to predict too much, but I mean I think last year all signs were pointing to a pretty big 2025, and it kind of started that way in January and February. It started building, and then we got hit with the tariffs, and that's what kind of really slowed things down because the economy took a turn for the worse, right? And I think I'm a little bit bullish and optimistic towards 2026. Do I think we have a chance of getting some prices going up? Sure. Do I think we're still going to have a lot of inventory? Yes. I think that's still going to be the case. I think condos are super affordable. The one problem is that there is inflation, and a lot of people, they talk about inflation on certain items, but like goods and services also have inflation, right? And goods and services go to directly to in regards to condo fees, right? So the condo market's slowed down quite a bit. Prices are dropping immensely. But the other thing that a lot of people are forgetting is like, okay, these prices are decent for condos, but the condo fees are still pretty aggressive. They're pretty high, right? Because we had inflation in terms of how much you're paying for services, right? Like a condo fee is basically a maintenance fee. So
No.
if you're maintaining certain things, and like condos typically what they're doing is they're reviewing their budget every 2 years. So if inflation hit, when was it, like 23 and 24, right? And they had their budgets done in 21 and 22. Well, those prices that they got quoted for, like let's say these condos were changing roofs and windows over the next 5 years, they got prices in 21 and 22, but those prices aren't valid anymore. Like there could have been a 10% increase in the cost of those items in the 2 years that came after that. So it's like the prices are getting better, but you still have pretty expensive condo fees, which sometimes it still doesn't make sense to own a condo. So I think it's a tough one. I think the market is still going to be aggressive in terms of condos not moving that much in Ottawa. We'll see what happens in the rest of Canada, but I think if you're looking for single detached homes and freehold towns and young family type of homes, I think those are going to be doing really well in 2026. But we'll have to see. I don't know. I think I'm optimistic about it. I think there's going to be a peak, obviously, like pretty much every spring market, but we don't know. We don't know if the rates are going to stay the same. We don't know if the rates are pretty good now. They're way lower than they were last year at the same time, and the prices are relatively similar. So technically, if you bought this year compared to last year, you might have saved a little bit of money on interest, but prices are roughly the same. It's not a huge jump in prices, and depending on the certain area in Ottawa. Like that's the thing. A lot of people forget is like, yes, it's like we're in a kind of like a balanced but leaning towards a buyer's market, but depending on the area, you could be in a heavy seller's market, right? Like if you're looking in Alta Vista, let's say, or downtown core for a single detached home, there might be 20 homes that come up for sale in that market all year. Whereas if you're looking for a detached home in Barhaven, you have 150 to choose from all year. So it's like there's no perfect answer to that. It's really what are you looking for is the answer, right? That's like what am I looking for? Let's focus on the market in that area. That's how I look at it. But overall, optimistic about what's going to happen in 2026.
That's good. And I mean, people say Ottawa's like a boring city and whatnot, but is it also a good investment to have a property?
Yeah, I think it's still very affordable compared to some of the other markets. I mean, the thing is, Ottawa has good jobs overall. I know we're losing a lot of
Oh, yeah.
public sector jobs, but it's still like I think it's one of the more stable cities in the country. The thing is, with like if you're investing in Ottawa, you're gonna have good stability in terms of a rental tenant. But if you have like are you going to be paying a premium over those small towns? Yes, but small towns also, you can get things for cheaper. You can get 8-unit properties and stuff like that for cheaper, but are you going to have the same quality of tenant in there? And are you going to be spending more money on maintenance and stuff like that? All these things are questions. But I think overall, Ottawa is a pretty good place to invest for stability.
That's good. And I mean, people always compare. Have you seen the videos where it's like Dubai or
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
Like, what would you say? Dubai or Ottawa for
Like depends on what you want. I think so. I think like Ottawa is like one of the best family-oriented cities. That's what I would say. If you're a young person looking to go party and to go out and to like have a bunch of different things to do in the city, because our city core is not that big, right? Like Ottawa is a heavy, like you do need a car in Ottawa,
yeah,
right? To get around, to do certain things. Like every suburb has its own thing. But I think like if you're looking for, we have pretty good universities, but it's not. It's like I always call Ottawa a small city, big town, right? We're not huge, but we're like a lot of people know each other, but we're also like not a small area. We're a pretty big area, which requires car and transportation and all that stuff. And our population has been growing too, but. I think Ottawa is kind of like I would rate it like a kind of middle of the road city. I'd say like we're not too big, traffic is still kind of crappy, but it's much better than Montreal and Toronto and some other areas. So, but if you're looking for certain special things to do in the Ottawa area, you might be better off going to Montreal, or you might be better off going to Toronto to do these certain things, right? Like that's the one thing I would say is the main difference. Social life isn't as strong in Ottawa, but stability, family oriented, not a lot of crime. I think that's the like compared to other big cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what about like near the Byward Market and stuff? Would you recommend people go
Yeah,
there?
that one's a rough one. So that one's been getting worse and worse. Obviously, like it's sad. Like we do have a bit of a homeless population in the Broward market, and it's tough. But yeah, like that place has changed like quite a bit. Like I've been in Ottawa for 25 plus years roughly, and the Broward market's changed. Like Broward market used to be like a really cool place. Everybody would go out downtown, like when you're whether you were 18, 19, 20, 20, like all the way up to 30. A lot of people would be going out in those areas, but now it's like almost the opposite. It's like it's really slowed down there, I think. I mean, I personally haven't been there in a while, but in terms of like safety, it's not as safe as it was back in the day, I'd say. And in terms of like just overall like fun things to do, I think there's other areas in Ottawa that you can get. Like Lansdowne to me is probably one of my favorite places now, I'd say.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I guess also like going into like the housing crisis in Canada.
Hmm.
What do you think would be a good solution towards like combating that?
More inventory. Yeah, I think I always thought that like builders kind of get away with a lot. I find um, because they don't like a builder can have 20 pieces of inventory ready to go. They don't have to release them, right? I think that if you have anything on some sort, like whether it's a new build property or whether it's a resale, I think everything should be on MLS.
Okay,
Do you see what I mean? So it's like
I could see that.
you should be able to search for any type of home, whether it's new, old, resale, whatever, right? It should all be on one accessible website. You shouldn't have to go to this builder's website, then this builder's website, then this builder's website, and then have to, call these builders one by one. Hey, I'm looking for this model. Do you have a special lot? Like all of this information should be available on one. And that's what I mean by inventory. We should have more flexibility and availability. It shouldn't have to be such a job to go do these things. You
So
know what
when
I mean?
somebody comes up to you and they goes, "Hey Dean, I need you to find me a new build," do you have to individually go and contact
Yeah,
every?
like it's like you're doing like again, like new builds are easier to sell because everything's fresh, it's easy, like the builder is there to help out with finishes and stuff like that, but it's not as easily accessible. Like I wish I could just turn on MLS and see like, hey, builder A has this, builder B has this, builder C has this. Oh, and then you're looking for comparable resale properties. Well, here's similar homes that are built within the last 3 years, have a little bit more upgrades, and this is their pricing, right? So it's like, I wish there were like I wish there was more availability in terms of inventory and a little bit more things that to compare with, right? So, because like if you ask me, like, okay, I can go get this new build for, let's say we're talking about a townhome in, let's say Canada, right? This townhome in Canada starts at 650. No upgrades, bare bones. It's going to cost you, the upgrades that you want is going to cost you 695. Okay. Then, all right, let's look. While we're looking at that, why don't we look at this resale property? So it's 3 years old, similar model. It has a fenced-in backyard, has a finished basement, has this, has that, has this, and the prices call it 660, right?
Okay.
So it's like I just wish there was a little bit more things to compare with, so the end user, which is the buyer, right, can make the best decision for themselves, right? There are a lot of people that just strictly lean towards new builds. Like, I don't want anything resale, I just want a new build. Guess what? New builds you can only get in some suburbs, or mostly in suburbs and some certain parts of the inner city.
So you made a video about the best new builds in Ottawa, right?
Yeah.
So what were your rankings like?
I can't remember offhand. I think I had what did I have up there? I had probably Uniform Build, HN Homes, Urbandale. Those were like my S tier ones.
Okay.
Um, Cardell. Like there's a lot of good ones. Like Cardell's a really good one. Tartan's a really good one. I love Tartan's actually. Tamarack is really solid. But it all depends on the level of quality too, right? There's a lot of like in Ottawa, if you're looking to be in this inner city, you're looking at smaller builders too that are a little bit more local, right? Like if you're looking in Westboro, like Westboro has a lot of infill projects where it's just some builder coming in building a certain style just for two properties, right? Which are more like custom builders. They're not custom, but they're like they're more smaller mom and pop shops, right? So there's stuff like that, but it's like that does take some research too, right? So thinking like that, and then there's also the volume builders like Mattamy, Minto, Kaivan, and stuff like that. Like I think the rankings is one thing, but again, it always comes down to like what you actually need, right? And that's why I was saying like new, like there's some people that are like, it's almost as if they're addicted to buying a new build. They have to buy a new build no matter what. They will not look at a resale property because somebody's lived in it. But like you can get a lot more value, I've found sometimes in a resale. Again, that might be just because I'm a little bit biased, but I mean, whatever, right? That's the whole point I'm trying to make, is that I wish there was just an easier way to compare things and make it simpler for an end user, a buyer, or it would help with even a seller, right? Like let's say you're a seller, you're like, okay, well, I'm going to price my property at this, but I know that there's new builds are going to cost this much, right? And I'm a 5-year-old home, similar model, but I'm 5 years old, and the new build is this much. So then like it's easier to get to a sale price that is going to work effectively for you.
Yeah, I mean, so also like dealing with first-time home buyers, would you say that's easier because of all the discounts on tax and like rebate stuff, or?
Yeah, I think I think first time home buyers, I wouldn't say it's easy. Like it's the biggest decision they're making in their life
Oh yeah.
at that moment, right? I wouldn't say it's easy. I think it's dealing with a first time home buyer. It does require more knowledge. You're walking through somebody these big few steps, right? So you do have to have kind of a system in place where, okay, guys, this is step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, and then like you got to give them a roadmap on how they're going to be homeowners. You can't just say, go make an offer and that's it, right? Like you got to walk them through, okay, offer process, pre-approval, finding homes, where are we going to find the best homes, finding areas, is there anything good about these areas, bad about these areas, like all this. Like there is quite a bit of walking people through, whereas a repeat buyer, somebody that's buying their third or second or fourth home, they kind of know the process a little bit. They know which areas they're focused on and stuff like that. So I think it's two different set of demographics. But I do like working with first time home buyers quite a bit because it's it's fun. I've been on that journey myself too. I've been a first time home buyer, so I know what things I liked, what things I didn't like about the process, and I just try and make things as easy as possible for first time home buyers.
Oh, were you representing yourself at that time, or?
I wasn't even in real estate. Funny enough, I ended up buying a new build. I was a
Oh
first time
yeah,
home buyer. Yeah,
bought a new build.
yeah.
Are you really picky as well? Like only new builds.
No, I wasn't. No, I like I didn't know much. That's the thing, right? I was pretty young. Bought my first home at 25 years of age, and I was pretty young, so I didn't really know much. I actually went to see 3 homes and went back to the first one I saw and bought it.
Oh, did you ever have someone, a client that was just like, I don't want to see the home. Like, just put an offer, like, buy it without going into the house?
Yeah, they tell me that, and then I just go book a showing, and I have to go see the home. I can't. Like I wouldn't be doing my job if I just put an offer blindly without knowing what the home looks like in person. Like I do deal with a lot of clients that are from Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, whatever, that are relocating, and oftentimes I just say like, guys, I'm here at your disposal. You're from out of town. I'm in the city. So if you want to see something, let's do like at least a FaceTime or a Zoom call or whatever. I'll go to the property, touch and feel it, so I know what it looks like, so that you're not disappointed when you come here to, like, you know what I mean? Like it's tough, especially when you're relocating. You're not going to spend, like if you're in Toronto, you're not going to spend, you know, 5 hours driving here, seeing 4, 5, 6 homes, maybe, right? Like sometimes there might be 2 or 3 homes that you like,
Yeah.
right? And you're going to spend 5 hours driving here, 5 hours driving back. It's a full day, right? Whereas I just say, hey, FaceTime me. Let's do it. Let me go see them. Let me see if these even match what you're looking for, and then we can narrow it down. And if it's the perfect fit, great.
So that's like virtual showing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And would you say that pretty much just the same as a regular showing. It's not.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm like first showings, I'm pretty like relaxed. Like you got to go see the house, see if it actually if the person like the client likes it. Um, like I don't do much selling on the showing. It's like, okay, let's touch and feel it. Do you like things about it? Make sure like I always know like pretty much everything about the house before I show up there. So typically I know what I'm expecting. I don't just go blindly into a showing.
Like you'll research before.
Yeah, yeah. Like I
Okay.
always like look at the properties beforehand. I know the areas for a good amount, and yeah, you just kind of go there, see if the house makes sense, because a lot of it is you don't know what, like the pictures are one thing, but seeing in person is a whole completely different one. And that just happened this weekend, right? Like the pictures were great. We walked into the home, the layout didn't feel anything like that picture showed it. Right? It's like it's hard to picture a layout, and that's why I say you can't just blindly buy a house. Somebody's got to go see it, and if it's me seeing it, hey, I'm going to point out these things. Like, look, take a look around. Do you like this? Do you want to make like? Is this something that makes sense to you? If it doesn't make sense, then let's move on to the next house. But yeah, like we walked into the house on Saturday morning, and we saw it. They hated the layout. They saw three more, and they liked one of the four that they saw that day. So
That's good.
yeah.
And I mean, I guess a lot of people are catfishing houses now in terms
It's
of,
just it's marketing, right? Like you have to do your best to market the
yeah.
property,
I
right?
mean,
So if you were the buyers can be offended by it, but if if you bought that property and you were to sell it, you'd be doing your best to try and market the property as well.
that's true. I mean, you're also seeing that in virtual staging, I've
Yeah,
noticed.
yeah.
So, I mean, sometimes the people will put before and like after,
Hmm.
but I've also seen some images where it's only the virtual staging.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you get there, then I feel like that would be a greater disappointment.
Yeah, yeah. The virtual staging stuff, I do like it. It's just like some people go overboard with it. Like you have to be like realistic. You can't just be putting like so many different things in certain areas. It doesn't make sense, right? Like there is an art to staging, and stagers are really good at what they do because they're pretty much like they know how to design a property to make it feel welcoming and open. And if it's somebody that's not a stager and you're the one doing the editing to do the virtual staging, I mean, you got a pretty tough job on your hand because you've never done that in person. So you just clicking a bunch of buttons to make it look nice might not be the best avenue.
Do you virtual stage it yourself?
Yeah, like the team does a bunch of virtual staging, but it depends on the property always, right?
Okay. And have you done a physical one as well?
Yeah, yeah. We've done like staging where we've brought furniture in and all this stuff to make it to showcase the home. Obviously, typically it happens more often on vacant homes. Vacant homes, I find that they do feel empty when they're not staged, and it feels very like, especially in the winter months. Like you go into a home that's vacant in the winter, and it's just like feels so cold, empty. There's like no personality, there's no charm to the house, right? And it's like sometimes that can dissuade certain buyers. And then you compare it with the exact same property and you have staging in there. They're like, okay, and now I see how this fits in this room. This room makes sense. I would love to do something similar in this room, right? So it's just like the staging part is part of the marketing because it helps boost the appeal of the property, right? So I think I'm a big believer in the staging. It's just there's two different things. There's spending money on staging, and then there's staging where you're using your brain to make the rooms functional. And I always say do the smart staging first, which is functionality in the rooms, and then if you need to spend money on staging and getting furniture in, then do that.
I've seen some pictures of like houses with like a bunch of like stuff everywhere, and it's like very just like chaotic.
Hmm.
How do you deal with sellers that just have a bunch of things going on and it's not gonna be good for the pictures?
You send a stager in there to tell them the bad news.
Just like get it all out of
No,
here.
but it's. I mean, here's the thing: you can't change somebody's lifestyle, and if they're not willing to change it, that's all you can do, right? There's some sellers that, hey, I don't have the energy to move this stuff. I'm not going to move it. I know the home isn't going to show that well, but I want to sell it. And if that's the case, then be prepared for a slightly lower price than what the comparable is sold for, right?
Okay. And are there any other tips that sellers can do to
Oh,
improve the
there's
value?
tons. To check out my YouTube and you'll see all my tips and tricks.
Is there a specific video on that just for the sellers?
Yeah, like there's like I did a few. Like there's one that's doing the five. What was it? The tips to get your home sold in under 5 days. So that one, I really like that one's a more recent one. I know I'm putting that one up this week, so keep an eye out for that one.
Stay tuned.
Yeah,
I'll link your channel in the description so you guys can go check it out.
yeah. But no, like there's lots of tips, right? Like I always say, like decluttering, professional marketing, which is photos, videos, drone, and pricing. Those are your three main pillars to having a successful sale. And if you're failing on one of them, right, like you could have really good marketing with great photos, it could be really clean, decluttered, staged, all that stuff. But if you're $200,000 overpriced,
Yeah.
it can be nice all at once, right? But if you're 200K over the last sale, it's not going to matter, right? So those three pillars, I say you always got to attack first. And obviously too, like a big thing too is timing and knowing your local market and getting in touch with a realtor. Like if you're selling, getting in touch with a realtor sooner rather than later is always good, because like me personally, I'll never force somebody to sell, or not force, but I'll never push somebody to sell at a certain time. It just, I want to explain to them the market. Hey, your property, you have a really nice pool, you have a beautiful garden, you have, like, you're in a neighborhood where there's lots of greenery. So, it might be best to showcase that in the spring market. You might get the most bang for your buck at that time, right? And then there's some properties where it's like it's a volume property, which means there's lots of them that come around on the market often. So you want to hit it when the market is kind of slower, where there's less inventory in the market. So that'd be like a January, February, March kind of area, right? So every situation is different. There's no one size fits all tool to sell a house. It's every house is different. Everybody's situation is different, and you got to kind of appeal to that to make it all work and get the most money for the seller. And then if you're helping a buyer, you got to find the best deal out there. So it's wearing multiple hats for sure. But I do find that I'm able to help all of my clients, and yeah.
That's good. I mean, right now in my course, I'm at the point where it's like multiple representation.
Yep.
I'm going through that. Have you dealt with multiple representation?
Not as often as how much they harp on in the course. Like
Oh,
they
yeah.
act as if it's going to be a very common thing. It's
Yeah.
actually like it's not that often, and like you won't, like, I don't think I've even dealt with I might have dealt with a customer representation agreement like once, where some, like, what was it, that self-represented party now. Yeah,
Oh, gotcha.
because before it used to be customer service agreement, and now it's self-represented party where, what is it? They're self-represented, but they have to sign up with you to do the deal.
Yeah.
But you're not representing them in any way, right? So it's like that's like when somebody is coming in, they don't want to have any sort of realtor. They just want to get the deal done, and they're going to use the selling realtor, but the selling realtor does not represent them whatsoever, right? And then there's multiple representation where the selling agent of the house is also representing the buyers, and then there's multiple representation. And it's like that one I find a little bit tricky, is because if you're the listing agent, there's no way you can represent the seller properly and have your fiduciary duties to them while also trying to help the buyer, right? Like how is the seller and the buyer going to be represented properly if you're the one in the middle? And that's why, like, our team, we often say, like, sure, like, you can do the deal with us on a buy and sell, but, like, me, I'm the listing agent. I don't want to do it. Like, you can use somebody from our team, but I'd rather not be involved with both parties personally.
So, but if you use someone else on the team, is that also the discounted commission?
Yeah, like, it's not really, because ultimately we have to get the most money for the seller.
Okay, so then I guess then the reason why the seller would do it is they just really want to save on money, right?
Yeah, like like if the buyer is saying, okay, I'm gonna make an offer, but my offer is contingent on you guys giving me a reduced rate for what would be the amount of commission that I would have that the seller would have had to pay if I had an agent, basically like that, right?
Yeah.
But then that's another question, right? Is like, what if somebody with an agent is willing to pay you more? Right? I mean, it can go both ways, really. Like, it's It's a toss up. But I find that one is like I just don't know, right? It's like I don't think that one agent can represent both parties properly. I think it's a hard one, and yeah,
That's fair because I mean, in the course, it's saying that you have to refrain from and remain impartial to a lot of the duties that you're
exactly.
supposed to do. So you're not
Yeah.
really doing your job anymore.
Exactly. You're just like you're
Yeah.
just mediating a random transaction that makes no sense. I'd rather just be negotiating with another agent or, like whatever, right? And that way we know exactly what's what. And like like so let's say that you represent both parties, right? 6 months go by, something happens at the house, right? Buyer's unhappy, or 6 months later goes by and the seller that just transacted like, you know what? I think he was helping the buyer out more. I don't think I'm going to use this guy as an agent anymore. Right? It's just like it's an easy way to lose a client when you do that. I find.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, have you had a bunch of reoccurring clients that you've done deals with?
Yeah, yeah. Like a lot of my clients are repeat business. It's all customer service, customer satisfaction, and making sure that staying top of mind with all my clients. Right?
They buy and sell like within only a few years?
Not often. I mean, like some of them are investors where I'm helping them rent their properties. Some of them, some of them they're buying and selling. Some of them they're selling and then they're buying in a few years. Or some of them are selling a cottage property and then they're reinvesting into something else. Like whatever, right? There's so many different avenues. It's not like I don't have clients that are just buying and selling a new house every year, right? That they're living in. It's all different situations, but the whole point is being really a really good serviceable agent and being there for them and making sure that they're satisfied with everything that you're doing for them is going to help you out in the long run for sure.
So you mentioned like staying top of mind and following up. So how do you do that?
Well, I'm going to give out some tricks of the trade here.
Yeah, let's hear it. Give us
No, well, there's like obviously the biggest thing is how do you communicate with somebody without being annoying, right? Um, Somebody that you just transacted with, you can't send them an email every week, right? But what I find is helpful is I do market updates once a month, right? And I email blast that to my database. Now, does that mean some people don't want to see it? Sure, they unsubscribe, which is fine. But still reach out. I always reach out on the anniversary, major holidays. I reach out. That's basically how I stay top of mind, or try to at least, right?
Okay, and then what are you doing in those monthly videos?
Yeah, so so here's the other thing too. I think social media is a great way to stay top of mind, because you're not bugging somebody with a bunch of info, right? Like if I'm email blasting somebody, once a month, and then it starts turning into twice a month or 3 times a month, then they might just be getting annoyed. But
Yeah.
I have my YouTube channel, my TikTok, my Instagram, whatever, right? Those things are firing all cylinders, and they can choose to watch that. They don't have to watch it, but they know who I am, and if they've transacted with me in the past, they know what I'm talking about. They can always jump on YouTube and see my monthly market update and see like, oh, okay, this is what's happening this month. Maybe I'll reach out to them, give them a shout about my plans for the next 6 months.
But even if they're not watching it and they just go ahead and delete it, they still know that you're active.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely something.
It's finding a way to be present in your current clients, past clients, sphere of influence, friends, family. How do you be active without being annoying? That's I mean it's a hard one to solve, but just doing your best and being authentic, I think is a pretty big one. Not having to you shouldn't be trying very hard. It should be just natural, and that's what I think a lot of people are just trying to push something onto people, and it's just I think if you just provide the value, the results will come. Right? You can't just be constantly selling and pushing something. It's like, okay, guys, here's what's happening in the overall market. This is what's here, this is what's there, and that's it. Send it out or post it, right? And it's gonna get some views. It might not.
And when you were selling cars, were you taking the same approach, or you didn't really want to be a pushy salesman?
No, yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, like I worked at a luxury car dealership, and like there's not much. You don't need to push somebody on a luxury car. But I also worked at a volume dealer too, and Yeah, car sales is fun. It's just it's a different mentality there. After a while, it did start to get a little bit tiring, but sales is sales at the end of the day. It's really like I pride myself on making relationships, and cars was the same thing. It's like I always said, I don't sell cars. I make a friend, and then they end up buying a car, and that was really it. It was like a lot of, because cars are a headache, right? Like nobody, like everybody hates going to buy a car. It's a headache. It's like
Yeah.
you buy it, then you got to go start fixing it after a while, right? So it's one of those things where I just said, okay, how do I make this process super easy for everybody that comes in and talks to me? Okay, you're looking at these three cars. Here, let's go see everything you like about them, test drive them. Here's what it costs. If you like it, great. If you don't, that's kind of it.
But I mean, you also know all the tricks now. So when you get one for yourself or friends or family, you can.
Yeah, there's no tricks. Cars are expensive. There's no
And
tricks.
the negotiation, though.
Yeah, yeah,
You know.
yeah. But like, here's the thing: there's not that much tricks. Like the negotiation, there's like a certain percentage each manufacturer has, right? I think it's like I think German cars have like 6 to 7% profit. Oh, yeah, there you go.
I got a clip for him. I'm gonna get a
Yeah,
viral clip.
yeah, 6, 7, or 8%, something like that. And then, but like, you got to negotiate that. And some cars, like the cars that are sought after, like rare cars, you're not going to get any discounts on them. So it's like if you want a good deal, you're going to get a deal on a car that's on sale, right, or whatever. And used cars, like, don't even get me started. I have, so like, I don't know. Like, I've been so out of that business for so long that I completely forgot about it. I'm a rookie now. I don't even want to go buy a car. I
Have you sold any houses to the people you did car deals with?
don't think so. Can't remember. I don't think so though. No, no,
Do you still like have the contacts or whatever that you could?
no, not really. It's like, it's tough, right? Like, how do I like? It's kind of sketchy, right? Like, I can't just take my database from a car dealership and then try and sell them something else, right?
Yeah, that's
So,
fair.
yeah, I don't think it'd be right to do that.
Okay, and like speaking about like morals, um, would you say it's really important in real estate to have a good code of ethics?
Yeah, 100%. So I would say if it doesn't feel right, you probably shouldn't be doing it, right? And that's saying like it's also like saying no to some clients is okay too. You don't need every sale. There's some people that you just don't get along with, and sometimes it doesn't feel right. And ultimately, you're in business to make things happen. But if it doesn't work with somebody, then maybe you shouldn't be dealing with them, and that's okay. I find that some people will do things out of their norm just to get a sale. Where I feel like if you just were yourself to begin with and just kept pushing, you probably would have gotten more sales than having to do that thing that wasn't being yourself, right? And that could be like morally or just so many different things. But yeah, code of
And
ethics super important in the world and
yeah.
in this industry for sure.
I mean, yeah, they keep talking about it every 5 seconds in the court.
Oh yeah,
I had to
okay,
bring it up. But I mean, I'm sure you've had to deal with agents as well that were
yeah,
kind of being sketchy and whatever.
yeah.
But have you had people like do any like reports or anything? Because I know you can do that on like Recor or something. You can
Like a
report.
complaint? Yeah, no, I haven't dealt with it. Like I haven't gotten any complaints ever, but I know of some agents that have gotten like RICO complaints, and like you never know. Sometimes it's like sometimes the agents actually have fault, or sometimes it's a miscommunication with the buyer and or the seller or whatever, right? Maybe something wasn't communicated properly and they took it the wrong way and they said, you know what, I'm going to make a complaint about this. So things happen, but yeah, I've heard of agents that have had RICO complaints and sometimes they get fined or whatever it is. But I've never dealt with the situation myself, so I wouldn't know much about it. But yeah, I have heard of it.
And when you say refusing seller clients, and I also know sometimes you do it because they want like too much of a high price. So why refuse a listing just because of the price they want?
Because it's time and effort, right? Like it's like we're in the market where it's not just put a sign in the ground, cross your fingers, and you get paid in a couple of days. It's not like that. So sometimes saying no to somebody that's going to be overpricing their house by 150,000 just because they want a certain price is probably not the person you want to deal with. So yeah, I think they but somebody will take that client on, right? In the hopes that they're going to be able to drop them to a more realistic price point. So just evaluating is it going to be worth the effort? Is the juice going to be worth the squeeze in that situation, right?
Okay.
So
Have you dealt with any like auctions?
mm, not well, yeah. We did deal with some auctions back in during the COVID days. There was an auction company that was like selling homes, and they would start bids at like super low prices, and then it was actually pretty popular at the time, because people thought that oh, it's like the auction price is at 399 and the
Yeah.
home's value is like 550, right? I'm like, guys, like it's not going to sell for 399. That's the starting bid. There's there's 65 bids in the pipeline. You're not paying 399, right? Like there's no chance. And they'd be like, no, let's try. And then like their budget is 475 or 450, and then within half an hour, the price is already at market value, which was 550, right? So it's just like, yeah, auctions were weird. I don't think there's much auctions happening right now, especially not government auctions. I haven't seen any like that in a while.
Would you say it's more bidding wars? Have you dealt with those recently?
Some not really. Like the last few months has been okay, but I mean, you can get into a bidding war like on any property. It's just like it always about depends on how many people are interested in the property and how well it's priced.
So
But
what is your highest over asking from?
I can't remember that. That was like we haven't done we haven't priced a property for a bidding war in a long time. So and that was probably like 3 years ago probably. I'd say 2022 was probably like the last time we did it.
Oh, wait, what's the best way to price a property?
I typically say within 1 to 2% of market value.
Under or over?
Within.
Within?
So up or down. I don't think it like it depend. The big thing is like price. Like there's an art to pricing a property properly, and I think that depends on overall market conditions and micro market conditions. And I know I'm spitting out a bunch of large words here and confusing a bunch of people, but it's like pricing a property in the suburbs with a ton of inventory is different than pricing a property in a different suburb with low inventory. So it's like looking at all these different things and how are you going to stand out? Basically, you want to be the one that stands out and being shown in the best light, right? And also the presentation matters too. Like, hey, okay, so let's say we have a perfect property. We know it's going to be presented well. We know the pictures are going to be good. We know that it's owner occupied. They keep it very clean. And let's say we're talking about a detached home in an area that has maybe one for sale or none for sale. Well, I'm going to price that property very aggressively, which means probably within 1 to 2% of market value. So let's say market value is 950. Maybe I'll recommend 945,900, or maybe I'll recommend 948,000, or 949,999, or 950 flat, whatever. I'll recommend those few avenues, because I know if that's the market value, the buyers in that area know that that's going to be the only property available. They know it's priced right, so it's immediately going to get a lot of attention, right? And that's what you want to be doing to price a property right, because you want to have 10 showings in the first week, or 20 showings in the first week, or whatever, right? You want to have the most amount of showings possible, and you want to have busy open houses. You want to have all these things where overpricing a property will not give you that, right? So we're in a market where the price sensitivity is so stark that a $15,000 difference in a purchase price could mean you having 0 showings, or it could mean you having 10 showings. And they always say expect an offer every 10 showings. So whenever you have 10 showings, you should be getting an offer unless there's something wrong with the house. So that's why I say like within 1 to 2% of market value. Now, could that 1 to 2% be, like let's say we were talking about the 952 mark? Could you be at 952, 500? Sure, right? Could you be at 953, 954, 955? Sure.
Yeah.
Right? But do you want to be at 975 when you know the last one sold for 950 and yours isn't even, maybe it's not even as nice as that one that sold for 950, maybe it's slightly a little bit less, right? That's the thing. But in an area where the inventory is not as high, you want to be pricing it there because the potential of somebody coming in and having the potential of having 2 or 3 people come in and liking it and getting multiple offers is much higher than you pricing it higher and not getting any interest and having somebody come lowball you 2 weeks later is higher, right? So it's really, you got to study the area that you're in, you got to know the market that you're in, and then you got to price accordingly to the market to get the most. Right now, if you have a property that's much nicer than the last sale, that's a complete different one too, right? So let's say the last one sold for 950, but you have, the last one only had, laminate countertops, had like a crappy hardwood. You have, an upgraded oak. You have granite countertops all around in the bathrooms everywhere. You have, hardwood upstairs where the other one had carpets downstairs or upstairs. Sorry, you have to factor in all these things and then come up to because since that last one is market value 950, that's what the last sale went for. You're going to get probably a different price because you have so many upgrades. Now, how do you not overshoot it? That's the big question, right? Like, how do you, okay, so I have these upgrades. I have maybe 50, 60, $70,000 worth of upgrades. Am I worth 50, 60, 70, $80,000 worth of upgrades more? Maybe, maybe not. Because what is selling in that next bracket, right? What's selling between $1 million to $1,050,000?
Yeah.
So there is quite a bit of work that comes to pricing a property. You can't just, okay, the last one sold for this, that's what it's worth. No, because if every home sold for what the last one sold for, the market wouldn't go anywhere. We'd still be at $100,000 for a home, right? So it's very tough. There's no one word answer for how to price a property. It's really factoring in market conditions, factoring in inventory, and factoring in upgrades and all that stuff, and coming to the right price point.
Okay, and then lastly, you had.
I know I skated around that
No.
that question a little bit, but it's just like it's such a tough thing to answer because there's so many variables on every home.
That's fair. I mean, yeah, it's you're right. It is different on every home. Every person's gonna have a different. It's like everyone's got different needs, and it's just a matter of what fits what person best in the scenario. So, yeah, that's fair. But just touching on your YouTube one last time.
Yeah.
You have a YouTube coach, right? I believe.
Yeah.
Do you see the value in having one of those?
I think I see lots of value in all coaches. I've had a coach pretty much in everything I've done. So one is sports. When you're a kid, you're in sports, you have a coach, right? Yeah. I've had sports and business. I've had a coach in fitness. Lost a lot of weight, right? Had somebody hold me accountable. I have a coach on my social media and YouTube right now. That's because I'm trying to grow that next stage of my life. So yeah, I do see lots of value in coaching because who you surround yourself with is who you're probably going to become, and that's just like you want to have different aspects of, like, you want to have different perspective, right? What you don't know, right? And it's just, there's so much things that somebody can open your eyes to if you just listen. And understanding that, there might be a better way that you're not even aware of is a big one, right? Like, same thing, like, hey, like, what sport did you play in high school?
Track and field,
right?
Yeah, running.
So you had a coach.
Yep.
Right? And did he teach you things that you didn't know?
Oh, yeah, a lot
right?
of things, yeah.
So it's like, you just apply that concept to any sort of coach for whatever that thing you need for in life.
Yeah, I can definitely, painting the picture like that, it definitely seems very valuable.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
no.
I played basketball when I was in high school, and your coach helps you learn these things. You learn defensive schemes, you learn how to shoot the ball better, you learn how to offensive, like all these different things. Coaches are there to help you because they're mentoring you in a way, right? So I think that's super important. I think anybody that's like listening and looking to start in the real estate business, two things you want to have is you want to have a good mentor, either somebody in the brokerage that you're working at or somebody that you're going to be dealing with pretty often. and a good coach, whether it's for social media or growing your business or whatever it is, right? You want to have somebody that's pushing you in a direction where you're propelling your knowledge and you're learning a lot more about, what can I do to make myself better and what can I do to make myself stand out in business more. And yeah, I'm a firm believer in that. And yes, sometimes it costs money, but a lot of things in life do. And yeah.
If you had one last sentence to say to anyone wanting to start social media for their business of any kind whatsoever, what would it be?
Sorry, repeat the question. It was
Just any advice. I guess you're coaching right now, so Coach Dean giving advice to anyone starting social media for any kind of business.
starting social media. I would say just throw the videos out there. What's going to happen is the first few are going to suck, then the next few are going to suck, and then the next few are not going to suck as much. And then the next few after that are still going to suck, but not as much as the first 10. And then the next 10, you know what I mean? It's all volume based, and I've learned in my life that everything needs to be volume based. The more you do it, the better you're going to get, and just keep pushing until you don't give up, right? And eventually, if you're doing YouTube or Instagram or Facebook Reels or TikTok, whatever it is, eventually you're going to find an audience that likes your content, and whatever you're doing is going to grow from that, whether it's a business, whether it's whether you're a personal trainer, whether you're selling homes, whether you're a mortgage broker, whether you're fixing bicycles, right? Maybe you have a bicycle fixing business, and like if I was starting a bicycle fixing business, what would I do? I would figure out the 10 most searched up items on how to fix a bicycle. So how to relatch my chain onto a bicycle, how to change my brakes on a bicycle. I would load those videos up right away.
Yeah.
And then I would load up videos of me doing it. And that way I'm just providing value. Oh, and if you're in the Ottawa area, come visit my shop if you want to get a tune up for your bike. Right? Like in theory, it's easy. It's just not being camera shy and just doing it and throwing it out there.
Just do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for joining me. It was a pleasure. And I'm going to link Dean's channel in the description. So if you want anything for your real estate needs, you can give him. Just give him a text, reach out, and he'll help you out. Thank you, everybody.
Take care. Bye.